We now invite the dynamic
Namaste. Namaste. And hello to India. This is such a great honor. Let me begin by expressing my profound gratitude to an exceptional leader, a great champion of India, a man who works night and day for his country, and a man I am proud to call my true friend, Prime Minister Modi. The First Lady and I have just traveled 8,000 miles around the globe to deliver a message to every citizen across this nation. America loves India, America respects India, and America will always be faithful and loyal friends to the Indian people. 5 months ago, the United States welcomed your great Prime Minister at a giant football stadium in Texas, and today India welcomes us at the world's largest cricket stadium right here in Ahmedabad. It is a profound honor to be the beautiful new stadium, to be here with you. Motera Stadium, so beautiful, and joined by so many distinguished guests from all across your nation and all across the world. To the hundreds of thousands of everyday citizens who come out and line the streets in a stunning display of Indian culture and kindness, and to the 125,000 people in this great stadium today, thank you for the spectacular welcome to your magnificent country. You have done a great honor to the American people. Melania, my family, we will always remember this remarkable hospitality. We will remember it forever. From this day on, India will always hold a very special place in our hearts. The life of Prime Minister Modi underscores the limitless promise of this great nation. He started out by his father's side as a chiwala, a tea seller. When he was a young man, he worked at a cafeteria in this city. Stand up. Everybody loves him, but I will tell you this, he's very tough. Today, Prime Minister Modi is the tremendously successful leader of this vast Indian Republic. Last year, more than 600 million people went to the polls and gave him a landslide victory like no other in the largest democratic election ever held anywhere on the face of the earth. Prime Minister Modi, you are not just the pride of Gujarat. You are living proof that with hard work and devotion, Indians can accomplish anything, anything at all, anything they want. The Prime Minister has a moving story of an incredible rise, and so does this entire nation. Your nation is doing so well. We are very, very proud of India. The story of the Indian nation is a tale of astounding progress, a miracle of democracy, extraordinary diversity, and above all, a strong and noble people. India gives hope to all of humanity. In just 70 years, India has become an economic giant, the largest democracy ever to exist, and one of the most amazing nations anywhere in the world. Since the turn of the century, India's economy has grown more than 6 times in size. In a single decade, India has lifted over 270 million people out of poverty. Under Prime Minister Modi, for the first time in history, every village in India now has access to electricity. 320 million people, more Indians, are right now connected to the internet. The pace of highway construction has more than doubled. Over 70 million more households, think of this, 70 million more households have access to cooking fuel. 600 million more people have access to basic sanitation. And incredibly, 12 Indian citizens are lifted out of extreme poverty every single minute of every single day. India will soon be the home of the biggest middle class anywhere in the world, and within less than 10 years, extreme poverty in your country is projected to completely disappear. The potential for India is absolutely incredible. India's rise as a prosperous and independent nation is an example to every nation all over the world, and one of the most outstanding achievements of our century. It is all the more inspiring because you have done it as a democratic country. You have done it as a peaceful country. You have done it as a tolerant country. And you have done it as a great free country. There is all the difference in the world between a nation that seeks power through coercion, intimidation, and aggression, and a nation that rises by setting its people free and unleashing them to chase their dreams, and that is India. This is why India's accomplishment over the last 70 years is completely unrivaled no matter where you go. It is your faith in the strength of a free society, your confidence in your own people, your trust in your own citizens, and your respect for the dignity of every person that makes the United States and India such a natural, beautiful, enduring friendship. While our nations have many differences, they are both defined and propelled by a fundamental truth, the truth that all of us are blessed with divine light and every person is endowed with a sacred soul. As the great religious teacher Swami Vivekananda once said, the moment I stand in reverence before every human being and see God in him, that moment I am free. In America and in India, we know that we are all born for a higher purpose, to reach toward our fullest potential, to work toward excellence and perfection, and to give all glory to God. Powered by this spirit, Indians and Americans are always striving to be greater. Our people are always seeking to be better. And so our nations have become thriving centers of culture and commerce and civilization, giving light and vitality to all of the world. This is the country that produces nearly 2,000 movies a year from the hub of genius and creativity known as Bollywood. All over the planet, people take great joy in scenes of Bhangra, music, dance, romance, and drama, and classic Indian films like DDLJ and Showjay. This is the country where your people cheer on some of the world's greatest cricket players, from Sachin Tendulkar to Virat Kohli, the greatest in the world. This is the country that built the tallest statue on the face of the earth to honor the namesake of this stadium, the great Indian patriot and native of this state, Sardar Patel. India is the country where hundreds of millions of light candles to celebrate the triumph of good over evil at Diwali. And it's where, just days from now, Indians of all faiths will pour out onto the streets to celebrate the beautiful festival of Holi. India is a country that proudly embraces freedom, liberty, individual rights, the rule of law, and the dignity of every human being. Your nation has always been admired around the earth as the place where millions upon millions of Hindus and Muslims and Sikhs and Jains, Buddhists, Christians, and Jews worship side by side in harmony. Where you speak more than 100 languages and come from more than 24 states, yet you have always stood strong as one great Indian nation. Your unity is an inspiration to the world. In America, we have come to know the splendor of Indian culture personally through the 4 million Indian Americans living in the United States as our wonderful friends, colleagues, and neighbors. They are truly spectacular people. Indian Americans enrich every aspect of our national life. They are titans of business, the biggest, the best, pioneers of science, masters of the art, and innovation of technology like few people have been able to see, no matter where you go, anywhere in this universe. Nearly 1 in 4 Indian Americans trace their roots right here in Gujarat. Gujarat is a special place. So on behalf of the entire American people, thank you, and thank you all for the contributions your culture and traditions have made to my beloved country. Americans are eager to strengthen these beautiful ties between our two people. This is truly an exciting time in the United States. Our economy is booming like never before. Our people are prospering and spirits are soaring. There is tremendous love, tremendous We like and we love everybody. Unemployment has hit historic lows, and small business confidence has hit an all-time record high in the history of our country. Our military has been completely rebuilt. It is now stronger than ever before, and we are quickly revitalizing our alliances and friendships all around the world. We have spent $2.5 trillion on rebuilding our military. It's the most powerful military anywhere in the world by far. That is why I have come here to India in the spirit of fondness and goodwill, to expand our cherished partnership of incredible power and potential. The First Lady and I have just had a pleasure of visiting Mahatma Gandhi's ashram a few miles from here, where he launched the famous Salt March. And tomorrow in Delhi, we will lay a wreath, plant a tree at Rajghat in honor of this leader who is revered all around the world. And the First Lady and I look forward to visiting one of your country's most iconic landmarks. We are later today going to see the majestic Taj Mahal. The Prime Minister and I will also continue our important discussions about how to deepen the relationship between our two great countries. Both of us understand that when leaders put the interests of their own citizens first, we can forge strong and fair partnerships to build a safer and more prosperous world. Just months ago, this critical partnership took a major step forward when the U.S. military and your brave Indian Armed Forces conducted the first ever air, land, and sea military exercises between our two countries. It was something to behold. We called it Tiger Triumph. As we continue to build our defense cooperation, the United States looks forward to providing India with some of the best and most feared military equipment on the planet. We make the greatest weapons ever made: airplanes, missiles, rockets, ships. We make the best, and we're dealing now with India. But this includes advanced air defense systems and armed and unarmed aerial vehicles. And I am pleased to announce that tomorrow our representatives will sign deals to sell over $3 billion in the absolute finest state-of-the-art military helicopters and other equipment to the Indian Armed Forces. I believe that the United States should be India's premier defense partner, and that's the way it's working out. Together, we will defend our sovereignty, security, and protect a free and open Indo-Pacific region for our children and for many, many generations to come. The United States and India are also firmly united in our ironclad resolve to defend our citizens from the threat of radical Islamic terrorism. Both of our countries have been hurt by the pain and turmoil of terrorism and that terrorism brings. Under my administration, we unleashed the full power of the American military on bloodthirsty killers of ISIS in Iraq and in Syria. Today, the ISIS territorial caliphate has been 100% destroyed, and the monster known as al-Baghdadi, the founder and leader of ISIS, is dead. In the United States, we have also made clear that while our country will always welcome newcomers who share our values and love our people, our borders will always be closed to terrorists and terrorism and to any form of extremism. That is why we have taken historic steps to improve screening and vetting of applications for entry, and we are working to ensure that anyone who threatens the security of our citizens is denied admission and will pay a very, very big, costly price. Every nation has the right to secure and controlled borders. The United States and India are committed to working together to stop terrorists and to fight their ideology. For this reason, since taking office, My administration is working in a very positive way with Pakistan to crack down on the terrorist organizations and militants that operate on the Pakistani border. Our relationship with Pakistan is a very good one. Thanks to these efforts, we are beginning to see signs of big progress with Pakistan, and we are hopeful for reduced tensions, greater stability, and the future of harmony for all of the nations of South Asia. India has an important leadership role to play in shaping a better future as you take on greater responsibility for solving problems and promoting peace throughout this incredible region. Over the course of my visit, Prime Minister Modi and I will also discuss our efforts to expand the economic ties between our two countries. We will be making very, very major, among the biggest ever made, trade deals. We are in the early stages of discussion for an incredible trade agreement to reduce barriers of investment between the United States and India. And I am optimistic that working together, the Prime Minister and I can reach a fantastic deal that's good and even great for both of our countries. Except that he's a very tough negotiator. Since my inauguration, commerce between our two nations has increased by more than 40%. India is now a major market for American exports, and the United States is India's largest export market. A booming America is a great thing for India, and it's great for the world. And that's why we're so happy to announce that we have had the greatest economy ever in the history of the United States. In America, we have proven that the best way to attract jobs and opportunity is to reduce burdens on business, knock down barriers to new investment, and eliminate unnecessary bureaucracy, red tape, regulation, and taxes. Prime Minister Modi has already made significant reforms here in your country, as you very well know. The world looks forward to even more rapid improvement to India's business climate under his leadership. He wants to do it, and he's doing it at a record pace. 2 years ago, Prime Minister Modi warmly welcomed my daughter Ivanka to the Global Entrepreneurship Summit in Hyderabad, and she is back with us today. Ivanka, thank you. Thank you for being here. We are delighted to be joined as well by dozens of Indian women entrepreneurs who are helping to build your nation's future. They are great and natural entrepreneurs, and I just say to the men, be very careful. They're really good. The United States and India are also working closely together on the future of space exploration. You are making impressive strides with your exciting Chandrayaan lunar program. It is moving along rapidly, far ahead of schedule, and America looks forward to expanding our space cooperation with India. As you push even further, you are pushing the limits, and that's a great thing, including in the realm of human spaceflight. The United States and India will be friends and partners on our voyage into the stars and into space. It is truly extraordinary what this nation has achieved in the span of just one lifetime, and what they have done under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. It is absolutely incredible. Mr. Prime Minister, congratulations. You have come so far, but it is nothing compared to with how far India will go into the future, and the Prime Minister is laying the foundations for a future like few other countries can even think of. This nation is blessed with many treasures, from the sacred banks of the Ganges to the Golden Temple and the Jama Masjid. It is the home to some of the most cherished cultural heritage anywhere on earth. It is also the land of stunning vistas and astounding natural wonders, from the rugged peaks of the Himalayas to the splendid shores of Goa. And India has always been a wellspring of deep wisdom and great ideas, from the Vestas and the ancient epics all the way to the modern India nation. But standing before all of you today, I know that true strength of India is not found in its textbooks, its landmarks, or its landscapes. The true strength of India is found in 125,000 beating hearts in this stadium, and the millions and millions of people who have seen and witnessed our great friendship and admiration today. It is all found in the soul and the spirit of the Indian people. Your courage won and secured this nation's independence. Your devotion built this great and enduring democracy. And it is your dreams that will power this country to a future, even greater progress, prosperity, equality, and opportunity for every citizen across your land. So today I say to every Indian, North and South, Hindu and Muslim, Jewish and Christian, rich and poor, young and old, take pride in the glories of your past. Unite for an even brighter future, and let our two nations always stand together as powerful defenders of peace and liberty and the hope of a better world for all of humanity. Thank you again, Prime Minister Modi, for your hospitality, and thank you, India, for this phenomenal welcome. I want to just leave by saying, God bless India, God bless the United States of America. We love you, India, very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Being explained here to the President and the First Lady. And this is Hriday Kunj. This is where Mahatma Gandhi stayed during his 13-odd years here at Sabarmati. His presence is still palpable here. There is a deep sense of peace that permeates the air. His words still vibrate in the stillness here. The President will experience the essence of spiritual India as he enters this hallowed space.
President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Modi garlanding the photo of Mahatma Gandhi ji there, and we do see a prayer written downstairs. The prayer was written by Mahatma Gandhi in English, and it was titled Lord of Humility, where he expressed, let us be embodiments of self-sacrifice, embodiments of godliness, humility personified, that we may know the land better and love it more. This is the meeting place where Gandhiji used to meet a lot of people.
Interestingly, although Gandhiji lived here for 13 years, he didn't have a room to himself. He spent most of his time in this veranda spinning the charkha, or the spinning wheel, as we can see in the visuals. And that little room on the left was his study, where he wrote letters every day to people all across India who were connected with the freedom movement, and people from all across the world who wrote to him. This is also where he met the leaders of the freedom movement and international guests. This is where various decisions regarding India's freedom struggle were taken.
It was while living here that Mohandas Gandhi came to be known as Mahatma Gandhi. And this is the symbol of self-reliance, the spinning wheel, charkha.
The charkha was Gandhiji's great tool for empowerment and dignity of labor. President Trump and the First Lady giving it a try. It also has great spiritual significance. Gandhiji used to say 1 hour spent in spinning would be equivalent to an hour in self-development for the spinner. It's very meditative when you spin the charkha. In the meanwhile, Motera Stadium is abuzz with excitement. Lata Ben explaining how the yarn is spun. Most people trying the charkha for the first time can be a little unnerving, but once you get used to it, you understand what Gandhiji meant when he called it the physical embodiment of his constructive program as a representation of Swadeshi, self-sufficiency, and at the same time, interdependence. Because the wheel is at the center of a network of cotton growers, carders, weavers, distributors, and users. It also embodied the dignity of labor, equality, unity, as all volunteers were to spin each day, and finally independence was achieved. In fact, it has been called the livery of our freedom. That is what Khadi signifies for us. A few moments of introspection, trying to absorb the essence of Mahatma Gandhi, his teachings, and his philosophy. It's hard to imagine. This is exactly how the Mahatma would have sat here with his international visitors. He too had a great sense of humor.
Interestingly, Gandhiji could write from both his hands, and sitting here in the veranda, he would meet a lot of world leaders and other guests, as we now see the special visitor today, the American President, Donald Trump, now penning his thoughts in the visitor's book. Foremost in the movements launched by Gandhiji from this very place, the Sabarmati Ashram, was the 385-kilometer salt march from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi on the south Gujarat coast. Interestingly, Gandhi Smarak Sangrahalaya, Sabarmati, is open on all days of the year, from 8:30 in the morning till 6:30 in the evening. Daily about 2,000 to 3,000 footfalls, and on a holiday, Sunday, weekend, that increases to about 5,000 footfalls.
Mahatma Gandhi believed in an openness. He used to say, I do not want my house to be walled on all sides and my windows to be stuffed. I want the cultures of all lands to be blown about my house as freely as possible. But I refuse to be blown off my feet by any. This perhaps is the openness that you talked about. The people of all cultures, all traditions came here. The three monkeys of Mahatma Gandhi: speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. These were originally given to Mahatma Gandhi by a Japanese monk, and they became an essential part of his philosophy.
And those philosophies, Jasleen, are still very relevant and encourage each one of us to ensure that we imbibe the core values of humanity, truth, non-violence, love, compassion, service, sacrifice, forbearance, and equality. The Sangrahalaya, the museum, consists of a gallery that is titled My Life is My Message. And it consists of paintings, photo enlargements of some of the vivid events of Gandhiji's life, his quotations, letters, other relics. There's a library too. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi encourages one and all, especially the youth, to understand Gandhiji, his philosophy, connect with history. There's the archives that ensures collection, preservation, and display of Gandhiji's writings, photography, voice records, films, personal belongings. As we now see President Donald Trump interacting with the members of the Gandhi Smarak Sangrahalaya.
Any moment is a good moment to break into cheering and dance.
Well, one of the other hallmarks of the new Motera Stadium is the Hall of Fame. So if you're an avid cricket lover, a beautiful museum with very nice photographs showcasing India's triumph at the 2011 World Cup, 1983 World Cup, all the cricketers who went on to serve the country with great distinction. Exiting from the left side of the southern gate, and the President of the United States of America and the First Lady from the right side. And as leaders would walk through the tunnel like we saw in the Howdy Modi event and come out on the ramp from their respective side, handshake in the middle of the ramp, One can only imagine the roar from the spectators gathered here at the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Stadium, popularly known as New Motera Stadium.
And Amit, no matter what the occasion, whether formal, informal, or in an event like this, when you see the national tricolour being waved, it swells the heart with pride, doesn't it?
Absolutely. See these colours.
Women in their bridal finery, all dressed up for the occasion.
Truly, this is a historic milestone for Indo-US friendship. The President of the USA will address the audience here. They are very keen to hear